Hey, what's up guys? Nate Short here with Run Your Business Like a Business, also known as Rib Lab. And in this video, I thought I would expand on my previous videos on budgeting to give you an idea of what an actual home budget looks like. Now remember, our goal with establishing a home budget is to help us smooth out cash flow. And what do I mean by that? Well, if we can understand how much we're spending at home, it's definitely going to help us with managing our money on this erratic and often unpredictable commission income structure that we have as realtors. Some months we might make 30,000 and another month 5,000, for example. So how are we going to deal with those ups and downs? Now hopefully you remember the four buckets and how we're dividing every expense that we have into one of these buckets. The important thing to know is, are the expenses the same every month or do they vary? And are those expenses necessary to live? Meaning that if your income got shut off tomorrow, what expenses would we absolutely have to pay for to keep ourselves afloat? So let's go deeper and actually look at a real budget so you can see how that we actually do it. In the first bucket are recurring and essential expenses. Now these are expenses that are the same amount every month and they are necessary to live. In this example, this person has their mortgage at $4,000 per month. They pay for their home internet, which is $100 per month. They have electricity and gas at $350 per month. Now on a side note, one thing that we definitely recommend is going to your utility company and figuring out how much you need or how much you're spending for the year and then dividing that by 12, and that's going to give you a consistent monthly expense. And again, that really helps for cash flow purposes. And the same with the water and sewer companies, that's $200 per month in this example. Now this person also pays for their family's health insurance premium, which is $1,400 per month. And they have a car payment of $800 per month. Garbage is $50 per month, and they really love their dog, so they budget $100 per month for food and grooming. Now, you could argue that some of these expenses are not absolutely necessary to live, but that's the beauty of this system. You get to decide which expenses go into each bucket. So let's move on to our second bucket, which is recurring expenses that are non-essential. In this example, this person has put cable TV, which is $100 per month. They belong to a golf club, so that is $600 per month. They have various other subscriptions at $200 per month. And they are teaching their kids to budget, so they have $100 of allowances that go to the kids. Of course, you probably have several other types of expenses that would go here, but in this example, we have $1,000 per month going into this bucket. So our total recurring expenses are $8,000 per month. Now, for some of you, this may be a lot of money, and for others, it may seem too low. But remember, this is just an example. And if this was all there was to budgeting, a lot more people would actually do it. Unfortunately, that's not the case. So let's get to the non-recurring expenses. And these are the buckets on the right-hand side of the slide. In the third bucket, we have non-recurring and essential expenses. So the important thing with this part of the budget is we want to identify which items we're choosing to include in our home budget and which ones we are going to leave out essentially. So here's an example. Let's say your car breaks down and it's going to cost you $2,000 to get it fixed. Most people do not budget for this type of an expense, but they do happen, and they happen at the most inopportune times. I think you'd agree. So to be clear, these kinds of expenses we are not going to include in our home budget at this time. And why? Well, the reason is that we just cannot plan for them. They are unpredictable. So we're going to talk about these kind of expenses in another video and how we pay for them. However, there are other types of expenses that we may want to budget for. One being, one of the biggest, I think, is grocery expenses. Now, why would grocery expenses go under this bucket? Well, simply because you have to ask yourself, are grocery expenses the same amount every month? Typically, they are not. They can vary with the time of year and with how much you eat out. And so with these type of expenses, we are going to create essentially a budget within a budget for certain line items that we, again, choose to include. Remember, we are trying to create this budget so that we can build a solid financial understanding of our situation and understanding of our cash flow needs with the goal of spending less than we make. And that's the whole point. So in this example, we are choosing to create a budget for groceries of $1,000 per month. And we also have gas for our spouse of $300 per month. So that's a total of $1,300 for this bucket. Now here's a really important point. All the other potential items in this category, like medical emergencies or other unpredictable events, we are going to pay for those using what Dave Ramsey would call the survival account. This is one of the major mind shifts that we teach when it comes to budgeting, and it will have a huge impact on your ability to plan and create wealth for yourself in the future. So make sure and look for that video in our library. Okay, so let's get to that fourth bucket, the non-recurring and non-essential bucket. And this is the bucket that gets cut first when times get tough, like they did for me back in 2008. And they include line items like entertainment, which we are creating a $500 budget for in this example, $500 for dining out, our daily Starbucks ritual of $100, dry cleaning of $50, kids sports of $750, and other miscellaneous items of $800. So the total in this bucket is $2,700 per month. Vacations and luxury purchases, again, will come out of our survival account, which we will talk about later. So let's add all these items up. On the left side, we have recurring expenses of $8,000 per month. And on the right side, the non-recurring expenses that we have chosen to create a budget for, we have $4,000 per month for a grand total of $12,000 per month. And finally, we have created a home budget that we can do our business planning off of. It also gives us the ability to see what our cash flow is going to need to be just to pay our base monthly expenses. It's a critical piece of information that you will need to have to run your business like a business, and it is something that few coaching programs actually show you how to do. So take a stab at creating your own home budget using this video as your guide. And if you want a template you can use for this exercise, go to the following link below in the description and enter your name and email, and we will send you a complimentary template to work from. So guys, if you liked this video and you found it of value, please subscribe to our YouTube channel and or our Facebook page, where we are constantly posting videos that are meant to help you, the real estate agent, be more productive and more profitable. And of course, if you're looking for a real estate coaching program that can hold you accountable to achieving your goals, check out our website at riblab.com. That's RYBLAB.com. So thanks for watching, and we'll see you in the next video.